Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video, and yeah, this is going to be a Q&A video. So this is my final Flash Q&A, but also a bit of like a channel Q&A at the same time, but mainly just Flash stuff, because obviously the Flash is ending. So I do want to thank everyone that submitted questions. I did put on the community tab last week sometime, maybe on the last weekend. Can't remember when it was sometime around then. So thank you to everyone that submitted questions. I couldn't put all of them in this video. I did select 10 because I'm just averaging about a minute and a half per question, but didn't want this video to go on for half an hour. But yeah, so thank you to everyone that submitted questions, and you might see your question within this video. So yeah. But one thing I do want to ask is that if you do want to submit something in the comment section, don't put a question, but I am going to be doing something called, and I've done this before. This is something I did in like season 5, I think it was, maybe 4. I think it was between season 4 and 5 maybe, but I called it Arrowverse Hot Takes. Now I'm just going to say hot takes in general, but leave your Arrowverse or the Flash hot takes, like something that you think most people wouldn't agree with. So for me, I think the Flash season 4 is one of the better seasons of the show. That's probably a hot take to a lot of people. So what's your hot take? Is it like Speedster Iris is the best speedster on the show? Like, don't troll, obviously, like that's a troll, but like, let me know your hot take in the comment section down below, and it will or may be included in a video. But there will be a video, but your hot take may be in a video. You can leave multiple ones. It's up to you. Just put them in the comment section down below and they might be used. But yeah, of course, if you enjoy the video, be sure to drop a like and everything like that. And thanks for watching. So the first question is a very valid question that a lot of people have asked, you know, maybe not necessarily, oh, yesterday so many people asked this question, but like, I guess since they said that the Flash this season was going to be the final season, I think maybe, it's a valid question. I've answered it in some streams, like in passing and everything like that, but I have never like really like talked about it in a video or made a video specifically on it. Don't think I'd ever would make a video specifically on it, but I think it's worth mentioning now. And that's when the Salty Lemon asks, with the Flash reaching its end, what videos will you make on the channel? And as I said, it's a very valid question and I'm happy to answer it. So my channel, really ever since I started it, even up to this point right now, has always been a channel where I just talk about stuff that I like talking about. And I've never really been a guy that cares about views. Some guys might be like, no, Paige, you view whore, you just do it for the money and stuff. And I've actually shown evidence of this. Like half of my videos get demonetized. So it's not trust me when I say I don't do it for that. But you can see, like in the past, like I might be known as like the Arrowverse guy, but I really only talked about 2 shows for the most part, which were Arrow and Flash, because I didn't really love any of the other shows. Like I watched them and I enjoyed them being a part of the universe, but if I'm not enjoying something, I'm just not going to watch it. I mean, you know, like Supergirl dropped it, the Titans, we had dropped it, Doom Patrol. Well, Doom Patrol wasn't even really a part of my channel, but like Titans just wasn't enjoying it. Batwoman, Legends, all that stuff. Like I just talked about stuff I liked watching week to week and talking about, which was Arrow and Flash, and then that merged into Supergirl, and then not Supergirl, sorry, Stargirl, and now Superman and Lois as well, alongside the Flash in its final season. So it's always been like that, and on the side there's other stuff to talk about, but DC TV just consumed so much, so it made sense that would always be the main part, if not the vast majority of the channel. But I'll just continue doing that. And I've never really been a guy that's like, you know, as I said, like overly obsessed with views. I don't really look at analytics. I look at the comments and that's really about it. And I just upload videos. That's always been my thing, especially since like season 4 of The Flash or something like that. Because it gets a bit toxic and you see people getting like really toxic over it and getting obsessive. And I don't think that really helps your situation in regards to enjoying what you're doing. So I just keep, you know, I sort of keep that in the background. And just make videos and I guess try and enjoy it. But yeah, so I'll continue doing that. Things I'm looking forward to are like most of the stuff that James Gunn's got planned. In regards to specifics, I'm really looking forward to the Green Lantern or Lantern show. And I really want to make content about that when we finally get some more information on it. Booster Gold as well. I'm really looking forward to that. And of course, anything with Flash stuff going forward as well. I'm assuming that Green Arrow will be a part of James Gunn's thing as well. Green Arrow is my favorite hero, with Flash and Green Lantern tied for second after that. So even if I really just focus on those 3 characters and projects with those moving forward, I'd be happy. But anything that interests me, I mean, even if that Harry Potter show, I mean, I've got the lightning bolt on my picture. I might just keep that thing and be like, hey, I like anything with a lightning bolt. So that Harry Potter HBO Max show, when stuff finally comes out about that, I might talk about that. I love Harry Potter. I'm a Harry Potter nerd, grew up with it, and I know a lot about it. So I can even talk about that and I can give you a, you know, decent knowledge or decent, input about that as well. So that's the plan, but it's all a wait and see. Like, I don't really want to think too far ahead, just because, I mean, I'd never really be able to meet that. I think if I said, oh, these are the next 20 videos you have to make, I'd want to stop doing YouTube. I've never done YouTube to be like, oh, overly planned or even like overly professional. It's me to have fun and just talk to people and enjoy the genre stuff with people. And I continue to keep doing that. So yeah, but thanks for the question, the Salty Lemon. And hopefully that answers, I guess, most queries that people have around it. If you have any more, you can feel free to ask me on Twitter or something. But hopefully that, answers most questions around that. The next question comes from George Ryan Haynes, 3 names. Personally, what is your opinion on the biggest disappointment, in the entire series? Also, what do you think was the biggest surprise? This could be a character arc, storyline, visuals, etc. Thanks for making Flash videos. I've really appreciated watching them. Well, thank you very much for that, George. In regards to biggest disappointment in the entire series, honestly, I'd probably say this final season, just because I think it feels very half-assed. I feel like because the thing is, like, if there's budget issues, that's fair enough. If there's like availability issues, that's fine. But I feel like not every single one, but the majority of the scripts and stuff, and I'm a big guy on writing. I like when stuff is written well, especially dialogue. And I feel like a lot of this season has felt very half-assed, half-baked, first draft stuff. So that's probably been the biggest disappointment off the top of my head. If I think about stuff before season 9, I'd feel like maybe season 5 not living up to the hype. Season 5 had the most hype I can remember going into a season about just the Flash. Crisis obviously had the big hype, which was leading into season 6 of the Flash, but it wasn't just about season 6 of the Flash. It was about just Crisis and the Arrowverse as a whole. So in regards to just a specific Flash season 5 had so much hype going into it, and I feel like it definitely didn't live up to the hype there and was a big disappointment. I know a lot of people like season 5, which is fine, but for me, I was like, oh God, just disappointment across the board in not everything, but just a decent amount of areas. In regards to the biggest surprise, I would say, you know what? I would say this. My biggest surprise in regards to something that wasn't like a cameo or anything was Despero and how Despero looked in Armageddon. It shocked me how good he looked. And that's to me, I was like really, really surprised how good Despero looked in Armageddon in regards to the visuals there. So I'll say that. But yeah, thanks, George, for the question. Next up, we have Charles or Charlie. 2 of my favorite Flash moments from the Eric Wallace era were the Flash riding the lightning and him going into the black hole, accompanied by their respective songs. Were the musical moments like those appreciated, and should there have been more of them? I love when like a movie or a TV moment has music, especially if it works well. Like the black hole one was Flash by Queen. Like the Flash Gordon song, and then of course we had Ride the Lightning by Metallica for that one, and they fit both really well. So I think we all remember Love is a Battlefield in that Daddy Likes the Metal Goldface thing, like cringy moment, but the song fits perfectly. So I wish there was more, but also it costs money to use music and stuff. So if you decide to use music, you're using a bit of your budget and stuff like that. So you wish there were more. But I think if there was too many, you wouldn't appreciate them as much. So I think you got to use them somewhat sparingly, so you do appreciate them when they do happen. So I love them when they do happen, or when they did happen. But yeah, you also got to use them sparingly. We actually do have the Salty Lemon again. I didn't realize the Salty Lemon had 2 questions in here, and they ask, if you could have written the final season of Flash, how would you do it? We all know it would be better than what we've gotten so far, other than 9/09 to 9/11. My thing would be just probably removing the Red Death arc and making the Cobalt Blue thing the entire season, if the Cobalt Blue thing was going to be the final villain. And just, you look back at season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the entire season were those one villains. This would only be 13 episodes, and they could have still put the interludes in there and just had it, maybe have 3 episodes of story, a filler, 2 episodes of story, a filler, 3 more episodes of filler, and then all the way to the finale. That would have been the way to do it. But I have a feeling, and this might be me just giving Eric Wallace the benefit of the doubt, but I believe it's the truth anyway, is that he would have had these stories planned, assuming that he might have been getting 18 episodes, and then all of a sudden only 13 coming his way. So I think he still would have done Red Death, whether that was still going to be the same quality or not. But there would have been another 1 or 2, probably like another storyline between that and the Cobalt Blue storyline and whatever that would have been. So who knows what that would have been, but I feel like the Red Death thing was sort of a waste of time looking back at it. And I don't think anyone's going to look back and go, oh, I love that storyline. At least I don't think so, because I just think it wasn't very good. So if I could have written it, I probably would have made the entire season Cobalt Blue, but I wouldn't have made it Eddie Thawne. I would have actually changed it to be his son, and then that allows much more backstory and exploration to play out, because Eddie Thawne's being used, I think, just because it allows for a quicker storyline. So yeah, that's what we would have done. Just spaced out that story, had some fun returning fun filler episodes that could have involved returning characters, like we saw with the Oliver Queen episode, maybe some other ones, stuff like that. So yeah, this is coming from Katie Artist, and they ask, what was your first reaction to the pilot all the way back in 2014? Of course, gosh, it doesn't feel like that long ago. It definitely doesn't. And the Flash is back to a pilot first in Arrow 2. So I mentioned the Arrow one. The fun story around the Arrow one, when Barry or Grant first appeared as Barry in Arrow, I didn't know he was showing up. So this was back before, like, I had Twitter and stuff like that, but I didn't use it. So I didn't even know he was showing up. I had no idea that we had Barry Allen appearing on Arrow. And all of a sudden he walks in and he says that he is, I think he said his name is Officer Allen, and then he says Barry Allen or something like that. I had no idea. It blew my mind. I was like, no, wait, what? It was like an honest reaction to that. It was sort of insane that was happening. And then in regards to the pilot, I remember that the Flash pilot leaked. I remember it leaked online, I think intentionally to build up hype around it, but it leaked online. So I remember watching it before it even aired. I think a lot of people would done that as well. So I remember I loved it and just was so excited for what was coming forward after that point. And I didn't even really think about the fact it was in the connected universe for the most part until the end when Oliver Queen showed up in the Flash pile, and just then it makes you think, well, what's going to happen from that point forward? And I think it was pretty much after that point that I started to make sure that I was online, because I was making YouTube videos back then. I didn't make videos until the end of Flash season 1 and the end of Arrow season 3 and stuff. So yeah, I made sure to stay online so I knew what was coming our way during those during those seasons and any potential crossovers and stuff like that. But yeah, just overall excitement and giddiness is probably the best way to put it. DC's Super Steve asks, hey Pagey, which villain from the comics that did not appear on The Flash would you have wanted to see on the show? If you talk about a Flash villain, the only one I can really think of off the top of my head is Paradox. That would have allowed for a pretty interesting story. So I'll say Paradox just because of that. In regards to any villain from the comics, like just in general, I mean, you probably could have done something crazy with, like, I was going to say Lex Luthor, but we had Lex Luthor. So like anything like, I don't know, probably something over the top, Darkseid, we'll say Darkseid. I know, something crazy like that. You probably could have done something along those lines. Heatwave, Mick Rory himself asks, what is your personal most and least favorite part / season of The Flash and why? This could be a certain story arc like Armageddon or an entire season like season 3. I think the easy answer for least favorite is the Force storyline. That, like, I thought it was incredibly mid for like the first few episodes, but then the final 2.5 episodes, roughly, like 2.5, 3 episodes, were just torturous and like horrible. They just weren't done well. And I think that will forever be a stain on Eric Wallace's run, was that Force storyline, because it felt like, I don't know, it just felt like, I don't know, I didn't even know. It was just awful. It was just terrible. It was just so bad. So yeah, that's definitely it. Like, that was awful to watch those past three things. And just to think about it makes me question reality and humanity as a whole. In regards to most favorite / part of a season of The Flash and why, I want to say the middle third. I know it's getting very specific, but the middle third of the Zoom storyline, where we didn't know who Zoom was yet, and we were slowly leading up to that point, but you also had us exploring more about Zoom. So I would say that. I would say that middle third, and that included like the Welcome to Earth 2 episodes. I would say that was like where I started to really hammer home more on my channel and focus more on it. And I remember it's because I was doing that because I was loving the show and talking about it. Sort of going back to the first question I asked in regards to what videos to do going forward, I was just talking about the show so much in videos because I was loving it. So I would say probably that. That's the thing that jumps to my head first. But thanks, Heatwave, for the question. Greatly appreciated. And then we have Zafir, who asks, what's been your favorite video you've ever made? And I actually saw, when I put this question in here, I had to have a think. And the thing I hammered down on and was like, okay, I'm pretty sure it's that, was the episode of Crisis on Infinite Earths when Ezra Miller's Flash appeared in that scene. And the reason I say that, it wasn't necessarily once I've made the video and I was like, that's the favorite video I've ever made. It was the excitement I had in making that video. So that cameo doesn't happen at the end of the episode. It's not a cliffhanger. So it's not like, oh, that's it. Oh my God, that was awesome. Quickly make a video. You had to watch the rest of the episode, and it was goddamn Crisis. You weren't going to turn it off. You were going to keep watching that episode. So I was sitting there and like sort of like half, I was like tripping out. I was like, oh God, because like half in the episode and half going, wait, did that cameo actually just happen? Did he just did the Justice League movie Flash just appear? Did Ezra Miller just hang out with Grant Gustin? It was tripping. You were tripping balls. You weren't too sure what the hell happened there. So I would say that in regards to like a mixture of the favorite video, the most excited I was to make a video, it was that in the moment at the very least. Like there's obviously going to be other ones where you're looking forward to an episode and stuff like that. But in the moment, I was desperate to make a video and I loved just talking about it. So I would say that. But thanks, Zafir. And this is the next question is coming from Ahmed. And they say, in your opinion, what do you think the Flash should be remembered for? And I would say, like I had the word in the back of my head before, and I would say, like, I want to say fun. The word fun jumps to my head. I think, you know what? I know it sounds so corny. I know it sounds so cringy, and you'll be like, Pagey, mate. Like, that's just... But I want to say community. Like, I loved talking about, not just the Flash, the Arrowverse as a whole, a bunch of the DC TV stuff. I love talking about it with people, you know, online and everything like that, and all the different theories and stuff. Whether you... Like, I remember, like, and it hasn't happened recently, but it happened especially back in like season 3 and 4, when you'd get someone that comes up with this absolutely lunatic theory that makes no sense. You're like, but you don't want to be mean. Like, I'm not a mean guy. I'm a nice guy. So I'm like, I'm not going to like just say, dude, that was terrible. I'm not going to say that. Like, I'm not going to try and put down someone pretty lightly, but like, oh, okay, I don't see that happening, man. But yeah, it's a good theory. Yeah, like, and I tried to like connect the dots myself as to how it could even be possible. So I want to say community, at least from my perspective, is like, I love talking about it with people, and whether it was viewers or other content creators and stuff like that. So I want to say that, though in regards to the content side, I feel like I do keep to myself a lot of the time. Like I only really talk to a handful of other creators. But I don't know, community sounds like the best word to put it. So I'll say that. And the final question, which I thought was fairly fitting to just have at the end here, and that is from Noah, and they ask, what is your favorite Flash episode? And I sort of mentioned it earlier. Now, I have a difference between, like, I think the best episode the show's ever done, I mean, it's probably Out of Time in regards to the writing and how it played a part into the show. I think that's probably the best in regards to what you would say quality-wise is the best. In regards to my favorite, I mentioned it before, and it's a bit of a cheat because it's not one episode, it's 2. And that was the Earth 2 episodes back in season 2. I love those episodes. I think you can just go back and watch them on their own. Just with like the general idea of what's within season 2. So I'll say that. I love those episodes so much. And they're still really, really high quality episodes. They're just not as like good quality, I think, as like Out of Time or the season 1 finale. But man, they're so fun to watch. So I'll say that. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be awesome, drop a like. And as I said, if you have any of those hot takes you want to put in the comment section down below, feel free to do that. And they can be a part of a video going forward. So yeah, if you want to do that, feel free to. And also if you just want to leave your opinions on any of the questions I answered in this video, feel free to do that as well. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.